누구 없어요? 누구 없냐? 말할 때마다 이게 뭐가 나오네. 누구랑 말하는 게 오랜만이야. (1번) 아이디어가 완전 바닥이 났어. 답답함을 게임에다 푼 거야. 혹시 기계를 아니야 그거? 오. 날 거기로 데려다줘.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for? Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on. You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
그냥 네 일이 쉽고 재밌다고 말해야 돼? 그럴 수가. 오케이 그냥 말할게. 누가 막 우는 소리도 들려.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. This is what I felt. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
여긴 어디야? 나 부인이었냐? 코다라는 사람이 여잔가봐. 혹시 아까 그 감옥 안에 있던 내 자신을 표현한다면. 기계는 스스로 코다라고 부른다고 합니다. 지금 바쁘니까 나중에 나중에 말하겠습니다.
And of course, it's the machine.
넌 멈췄다고. 넌 우리를 먹이는 걸 멈췄어. 저 밖에 있는 사람들. 내가 그 사람들을 어떤 고통에 몰아넣는지 상상한가? 난 너무나도 외로웠어. 날 떠난 것을 사과해. 싫어? 아무것도? 그래. 싫다고? 좋아. 그럼 내가 대신 사람들에게 사과하지. 자, 여러분. 내 친구들이요. 제가 안 좋은 소식을 폭로하겠습니다. 이게 자꾸 가리네. 기계는 저희들에게 사과를 하지 않을 거라고 합니다. 우리는 기계 없이 살 방도를 찾아야 됩니다. 우리는 기계의 게임이 필요하지 않습니다. 우리가 실패자들이 아니라는 걸 보여줍시다. 따라오세요. 우리는 기계를 파괴할 겁니다. 없잖아. 이거 감옥 게임 그거 아니야 이거? 아니? 아니... 와, 모든 게임을 다 파괴하는 거야 이렇게? 와우.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm
바닥은 안
thinking that
파괴되네.
Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in
부숴야
himself?
되냐?
Would it bring meaning back into his work?
야, 이때까지 나온 게임 다 나오고 있어. 이때까지 자기가 만들었던 게임, 그런 거 다 부수고 있네. 우와,
So I started showing
떨어진다.
Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
오케이. 무기를 때려놔. 닥쳐!
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
탑.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant.
이야, 이게
It
뭐야?
feels like it's trying to distance itself.
검은 탑인가?
It's a very
관제장이요?
cold game. This room actually has a maze in it.
미로가 있다고? 뭐야?
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter, and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
오케이.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually
집
leave the
게임은
cleaning
사실은
chores and you
집안을
just clean
영원히
the house
청소하는
forever.
게임이었어.
I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
151617 1 5 16 1 7 왜? 괜찮아? 뭐야?
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first two challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
이거였구만.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean.
세 점? 아, 그 벽에 있는 그거 삼각형으로 돼 있던 그거.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed. Where did I screw up?
데이비에게 내 게임들에 관심을 가져서
I'm
고마워.
the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
이럴 수가.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... It felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable. And the people who played them, they treated me
해답을
like
끼워넣게
I was
만들었어.
important.
해답이
They
없었다
really
이 말이야.
listened and cared about what I
애초에.
had to say. Even though I was showing your work, it was... I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I
만약
had that,
답이 의미가
I
있었다면 내가
liked
더
myself.
행복해졌겠네. 가로등을 더한 건 얘였어. 이 집 말하던 애가. 이럴 수가. 반전.
And then you stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
새로운 아이디어로 고통받는 건 날 우울하게 만드는 게 아니야. 그런 부분까지 제작의 한 부분이니까. 그건 나보다 너에 해당하는 이야기야. 난 이 게임들이 아직 내겐 이해되지 않는다는 걸 깨달았어. 괜찮아.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
내가 말하고자 하는 건 바로 이거야. 아무 말도 하지 마.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work.
여기선
Is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again. Like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know
뭐야?
that I'm going to be okay.
벽이 좁혀지고 있었어. 에필로그. 여긴 어디?
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution.
야, 기차가 이렇게 해가지고 여기까지 왔다는 표현이 뭔가 신선한데?
I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you. If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for. And so I'm just gonna... Okay.
이게 다 뭘까? 어떻게 보면 작품의 의미를 네 멋대로 부여하지 마라 일 수도 있고, 만약 그렇게 되면 내가 지금 의미를 막 분야한 것도 안 되는 거잖아. 음. 이거 그거잖아. 내 자신을 희생시켜야 되는 거. 어? 떠오른다. 와, 이게 뭐야? 미로야, 미로.
Turn back from this cave.
아래게.
You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going. But the cave goes for miles and miles
네.
and miles.
이렇게 해서 비기너즈 가이드
And you're so tired.
엔딩을 봤습니다.
But I know that you're strong. So turn back. Turn back.
네, 수고하셨습니다. 네, 안녕히 주무세요. 용.